Welcome to The Process. It is Tuesday, January 4th. I am Josh Engelman, and I'm here to break down today's 5-game NBA slate. Pretty easy one on our hands. No crazy 10-gamers. I think we got a monster tomorrow. We could slide into a nice little 5-gamer today. Happy about it. Ready to get into this slate. Ready to do some work. Yesterday didn't go well. What are you going to do? Didn't have as much Trae Young as I needed. Didn't think Kyle Kuzma was going to revolutionize basketball yesterday. What are you going to do? It's fine. We'll move on. Obviously, Anthony Simons looked good. That one was pretty easy, but we got a lot to talk about today. 5 games is sort of the lowest end of like what I would consider a perfect slate. Just enough overlap where you probably don't have to worry too much about dupes, but at the same time, like you're going to have a little bit of everybody for the most part. That's fun to me. It's ice cold here today. Let's see, what do we got for a temperature? I know people are going to be like, oh, it's that all the time for me. But yeah, it feels like 23 outside. So I didn't actually have a really good night's sleep because it got really cold in the house. Bundle up under blankets. Feels good. It's good to have everybody here. A lot of coffee cups in chat. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Head over to Twitter. Follow this guy right here. Me, at Josh Engelman. JoshEngleman. You can spell that a couple different ways. I spell it this way. So that's what we're looking for. So good morning to everybody. It's good to see everybody popping up here. Let's get it started. So first and foremost, rise and grind. You guys know the drill. Michael Ortiz, thank you. New Bulls hoodie from the wife. It's fun. I enjoy it. I like it. We're rocking that for today. So, rise and grind, everybody. I got my coffee. I'm very excited to get a sip of this. First day back at the gym yesterday. Feels like someone stuck ice picks in my quads. So, I didn't sleep as smoothly as I wanted. It was a comfortable sleep, but body's still repairing itself. So, coffee's going to help it out this morning. Cheers to you guys. Grab whatever you got. Let's get this started. Just got a text from my mom. Let's go ahead and respond to that one quickly before we actually get started. We'll switch it over to our normal view. That way you guys don't have to look at my bed head. Get some tunage started in the background. Allegedly. Yep, there we go. Tunage in the background. Done. Find out what the mom wants. Yeah, hit that like button. I feel like we're going to be light on viewers today, so if you guys have any specific questions, let me know. Tuesday slates are usually a little bit weaker. I don't know why. To me, this slate looks great, but let's start here. Awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo. That is where you should go to get a pretty good deal for Prize Picks, honestly. 1 month free of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You get a deposit bonus of up to $100 on your first deposit. We've got a free player props tool at awesemo.com that will help you at Prize Picks. This isn't going to be like trying to get your highest fantasy score. We're talking about making parlay cards. You're looking for over-unders, whether that's on like points or rebounds or assists for player props or even just like fantasy points in general. You're looking to hit over-unders. You can do up to 5 in one card, 10x your entry fee if you do that. It's perfect. Go check out Prize Picks, but take the whole package. Do the whole deal. Get the free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. No reason to let any value on the table. Let's finish texting the old mom. Wants me to call her later. Will do. All right, let's get into it. Memphis Grizzlies, 3-point dogs in Cleveland. So Memphis on the back-to-back. And the problem here is that, one, they're not going to be submitting an injury report. And two, we don't know if Dillon Brooks, DeAnthony Melton, Zaire Williams are available post-COVID. We don't know this right now. Melton and Brooks have both been out since the 23rd of December. So we're talking about like 2 weeks. Yeah, William, I've realized that I've trapped my hat in my bedroom with my wife for the past 2 mornings, and I just don't care enough. Like, I'm a little tab on the screen. I don't care if people see my stupid ratty hair for this morning. Nobody's watching this to like look on the postage stamp in the corner of me. All right, so for right now, I think that our only mechanism is to pretend like Dillon Brooks and DeAnthony Melton aren't playing until we hear that they are. We got 30 minutes out of Jarrett Culver yesterday, which was really weird. Not at all what I projected Culver to be in. I did not project Jarrett Culver to play any sort of significant run. It's interesting that he did. He played a massive amount. Killian Tilly picked up 2 fouls there, a third there, a fourth there. So it's slightly foul related, but like not totally. So I don't know if we want to say that we think he's going to play a lot more. I assume we get a little bit more out of Tilly, but I'm going to go down to 20 on Tilly and then go up to 14 on Culver. I guess in theory I can go to like 18 on Culver and just throw those extra minutes back down to Pons. Because everything else was what I was expecting. I mean, we got less Tyus than I thought we would. I was more than okay with that. It always struck me as weird to begin with. I'm going to walk that back 1 minute. Calvin Nelson, I agree. Hit that like button. So, Chris, they have lowered that standard. However, we have no idea how these guys are testing while they're out. It doesn't really matter when it started. It just matters when the last positive was. So there's no way for us to like time that out. We just know what could be the fastest, not necessarily if it is. And there's no way for us to know that. So for right now, I'm pushing forward with Memphis as if everybody is in. I don't really have much else I want to change in their rotation. So we're going to go to Cleveland. And I think that Cleveland is going to be just as big of a problem here. So let's figure that piece out now. Let's shrink this window down like we normally do. And unshrink this window, or now shrink it. All right. Bah. Cleveland Cavaliers. So we've got Garland is off the injury report. I'm going to turn Ricky Rubio here into Rondo. And then we're going to go to the Lakers and just delete Rondo. Chris Yuckets, good morning to you. Alrighty, let's check out Cleveland now. So evidently, we're getting Darius Garland back. Evidently, we're getting Rondo. So I'm going to delete this entire rotation for Cleveland. We don't have Chetty or Isaac Okoro. So we're going to say Darius Garland leads us off. Garland has been out 4 games. I'm going to give him 32 minutes. I'm going to give Rondo the backup point guard run for right now. We've got Jared Allen back. Jared Allen has been back for the past 2 games, played big minutes. I'm going straight to 33 for him. We've got Mobley back playing big minutes, going 34 on Mobley. Man, I really like Mobley. I wish he wasn't on Cleveland. Morning, David. Morning, Ty. Morning, everybody. Make sure you're hitting that like button. All right, so Markkanen, it looks like he's pretty set into like 31 minutes. So let's do that. I thought he was active and available. Are you right, SMP? It's not a huge deal because we're talking about backup point guard run, but I'd rather get it right. Oh, yeah. Looks like he's not active. All right. No Rondo then for today. Not a problem. Go to either Pangos or Brandon Goodwin. I'm sure I have Brandon Goodwin on a team. Yeah, I do. So let's get Brandon Goodwin to Cleveland quickly. And get back into this. Whether it's Pangos or Goodwin, I think we're fine. Although Goodwin actually could play a little bit more in Isaac Okoro's stead. Yeah, no balding here. I got good locks. Just, I don't care about this show and like the way that I look at 6:30 in the morning any longer. All right, Brandon Goodwin. We'll give him the backup point guard run. Or maybe it's got to be both of them, actually. It's actually a pretty tricky team. So we know what we'll get out of Kevin Love. Something in the neighborhood of like 28 minutes. Ooh, is that what we got, actually? Mobley, Allen, Love. 96 minutes. So they split. Did they do it twice? Is that OT? No. Okay, so they actually, on 2 games ago, they actually played Mobley at the 3 a bit, which is interesting. Cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, it's looking like I am going to give Pangos minutes here. And we're going to turn Brandon Goodwin into like a backup 2. Or maybe like a... So who starts then? We're going to have Garland, Markkanen, Mobley, Allen. Who starts at the 2? I guess Lamar Stevens probably played 31 minutes the last time out. That was on Sunday. Did Lamar... Who started the second half for Okoro? It's really all that matters. Okoro started, didn't play the second half. Ooh, okay, so Brandon Goodwin started the second half, not Lamar Stevens. That is an interesting piece. So if Goodwin is going to start at the 2 potentially. I'm going to take Brandon Goodwin to 24. I'm going to take Lamar Stevens to 24. And then Dean Wade probably gets the final 18 minutes. That's a 9-man Cleveland rotation. We're going to have to change some rates to get Garland in. Well, not get Garland in, but since Garland is in. So let's hit up Cleveland. Take off Sexton. Let's take off Rubio. Alrighty. In theory, I should take off Okoro, but he's not a usage guy, so I'm okay with it. So we're going to take Garland up to 27%. Gets a massive assist rate bump. So that'll bring him into play slightly more than he was before. Jared Allen's got a 20% usage rate without those guys on. I don't want to go that high, but I will go to 19. Kevin Love gets to 27. I do want to go that high. That doesn't surprise me at all. He's Kevin Love. Also has a giant rebounding rate there, but I don't know. Markkanen doesn't really do much else. So we're going to lock him in at 19. Lamar Stevens doesn't play all that much. I'm not going to change his rate. Evan Mobley, I'll lock him into 21. Brandon Goodwin does not have enough playing time out there. We're going to treat him the same. I mean, the shots are going to go to Mobley, Allen, Love, Garland long before they go to anybody else. So that's Cleveland and Memphis. For Memphis, we don't really know what we're talking about here. We got to wait to find out who's actually going to be in. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane both stand out on DraftKings. This team could actually look really bad if Melton comes back in and Brooks comes back in. Unless those guys have like broken price tags, Memphis is going to look really rough today. On the Cleveland side, though, we've got Evan Mobley looking solid across both sites. We've got Jared Allen looking solid across both sites, primarily on FanDuel at 7,900. Jeffrey, I would say that Mobley and Garland aren't going anywhere for Cleveland, which means that no one is available for Cleveland to get Ben Simmons. It's also not really a need for them. Kevin Love looks okay on DraftKings at 7,500, but man, you need a very specific day out of him. That first game is not good. Not good. Let's go San Antonio and Toronto. Spurs are 5.5 point favorites. Sorry, 5.5 point dogs in Toronto. I think I saw that DeJounte Murray is back. Nope, certainly isn't. He is out, as is McBuckets and Lonnie Walker. So we take McBuckets out. We take Lonnie Walker out. We also have no Zach Collins. Keita Bates-Diop is questionable with a right hamstring injury. So let's take a look at the San Antonio rotation. Oh, they actually played Thad Young on the 31st. Let him know what this year was looking like. All right. So we've had no DeJounte Murray for 4 straight games. Derek White has played 16 minutes, 24 minutes, 35 minutes, and 42 minutes. That's hysterical. All right. I think we maintain Derek White's 33 minutes. We maintain Trey Jones as the backup, at least for right now. I'm taking everybody else's minutes out for right now. Jakob Poeltl in for 29. I'm happy with that. Jock Landale in for the backup center run. I think that works. I guess then we need to go to Keldon Johnson. We're going to say Keldon Johnson's playing like 33 minutes. Maybe same as Derek White. Yeah, Jeffrey, they can't. They would have to send every pick possible. They wouldn't want to do that. They also wouldn't be contenders. They'd be better, clearly, but they wouldn't be contenders. Alrighty. So we've got Keldon Johnson in. That's easy. I guess Josh Primo is back up. So who's going to start? White, Johnson, Pirtle, Devin Vassell. So Vassell needs 30-something minutes, I think. Or at least 28. Maybe 30. 30 works. Who started the last game for San Antonio? Trey Jones, Derek White, Jakob Poeltl, Vassell, and Keldon Johnson. Okay, so if Trey Jones is starting and they're staggering him, we're actually moving Derek White to the 2. And we're taking Trey Jones, who doesn't have to close. So I'm going to go to 26 there. So now we've got something like this. Bryn Forbes was the first guy off the bench, played 34 minutes. If we've got no Lonnie Walker here, no Murray, I think Forbes is pretty much set for like 22 minutes. So that piece is easy. Josh Primo, I think, is going to play the other 15 minutes at that spot. Potentially more. I'm going to assume Keita Bates-Diop plays. I think. Good morning, Israel. I mean, I can't imagine Thad plays. I don't know why you would. They're not going to play these guys like 40-something minutes in Toronto. So I'm going to give Keita Bates-Diop 17 minutes. And then I don't really actually know who gets this final run. They don't really, I don't know what a Joe Wieskamp is. He has played as of late. I can't give him 18 minutes. So we'll give 3 more minutes to Josh Primo, 2 more minutes to Bryn Forbes, and now I can give 13 minutes to Joe Wieskamp. I don't trust that at all. This is going to actually become a pretty extended conversation with Adam today on the San Antonio rotation. Rates can all stay the same. Those aren't things that I really need to change because this is still based on... Well, we might as well take a look at it. We have a ton of time. Also, hit that like button. 57 likes. Jeffrey. Good luck with whatever work you have to do. Enjoy your day. Let's take Murray off. And Walker off. McBuckets hasn't really been doing anything from a usage perspective this year, so we'll go ahead and skip that. No Murray, no Walker. Derek White, monstrous assist rate bump. So let's look into that a little bit. Bryn Forbes gets a giant usage bump. That's funny to see, as does Jakob Poeltl. Trey Jones, though, 159 minutes with those guys off. 15% usage rate. So let's lock him in. Let's lock Jock Landale in for the 19.7 that he normally has. I can't give Bryn Forbes that big of a bump, but I will give him some bump. So that's where we're going to be right now for this team. Which I think is kind of interesting. I mean, we're going to be getting to a lot of San Antonio here. I'm excited to talk about them. I think I'm less excited to talk about Toronto. No, Toronto is just back to normal here. This is normal Toronto. Which is always great to see. Because Toronto is one of the easier teams to project. Right now, we've got Siakam in for 36 minutes. Yes. I've got Van Vliet in for 36 minutes. Let's take everybody out that doesn't normally start. Trent in for 36 minutes. We'll get Scotty Barnes in for 36 minutes. Actually, we'll do Anunoby for 34. No, actually, I'm going 36 across the board on Toronto. I mean, that's what they want to do when it's competitive. Van Vliet, Trent, Anunoby, Siakam, Barnes. 36 minutes. Clear across the board. Boucher continued to play. Precious and Cam Birch also got good run. They played 58 minutes, so they split 4 minutes at the 4 and 5. That's starting to get interesting. So why did Anunoby play 20 minutes on Sunday? He didn't? Why do I have OG Anunoby's minutes wrong? Oh, I don't. I have Gary Trent's minutes wrong. Why did Gary Trent play 20 minutes? Foul trouble? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy. Easy. All right. Let's actually knock every one of these guys to 35. 35, 35, 35, 35, 35. We saw they went small and started Siakam at center, but still played Khem Birch, Chris Boucher, and Achua. Achua played alongside of Boucher for most of it. Precious Achua and Khem Birch never shared the floor together. So I think that we're going to say that Khem Birch is the first actual center on the team. We got very little time of Siakam being that guy, but it's maybe 5 minutes of Siakam, which means that we got... Where is that window? Oh, now I know. Forgot I have it all pulled down over the top of itself like a sheath. So we got 18 minutes out of Khem Birch. That's what I'm going to give him again. And then I'm going to give Precious 18 minutes as well. And then we're going to do something along those lines. That gives me my 35 for Barnes. Actually, might have to... No, we'll go 34 for Barnes since that was his first game back. Somehow OG Anunoby is about to be the 2 for a bit. Gary Trent Jr. is about to be a backup 1. Yuta Watanabe is the guy that played, which is... We'll give him the 12 minutes, but there's Toronto's rotation. I'm not entirely sure who I could actually project like this. I think we need to change every rate. So we're going to lock that in at 24. Trent in at 20. OG Anunoby at 22.5. Pascal Siakam, 26. Scotty Barnes, 19.5. Okay, so San Antonio and Toronto is really problematic. So on San Antonio, Derek White for 7,200 on DraftKings looks good. I think Derek White for 7,200, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and Jakob Poeltl all look pretty good on DraftKings relative to each other. On FanDuel, it's Keldon Johnson, Vassell, and Poeltl. I actually want to change the way that I display this. But I'll do that later. Now, Toronto... Pascal Siakam is 8,700 on DraftKings, but just center eligible. That's annoying, but he still looks good. I think Van Vliet is reasonable for 9K on DraftKings if you think he's playing 35 minutes. OG Anunoby at a fantasy point per minute, 6,400 on FanDuel, 7K on DraftKings. I think that's fine. Gary Trent, solid across both sites. Scotty Barnes, solid on FanDuel at 7,200. There's a lot to like for Toronto. That's going to be a very tricky team to want to get to. In a competitive game, though, we know those starters are going to play a ton of minutes. All right, we're at the 7 o'clock mark. We're at the halfway point of likes, too. 130 to 67. Hit that one last time. Let's go to Indy. Indy, 1.5 point dogs in New York. I don't think I knew that they had a problem. I didn't know that they got ripped by COVID. Oh, boy. No Brogdon, Levert, Duarte, Warren, McConnell, Keelan, Martin, Isaiah Jackson, Jeremy Lamb, or Goga. All righty. Well, here comes the value day. Let us cut out everybody here. So, the starting point guard for this team is what? Kiefer Sykes? Is that what we're looking for here? Yeah. Kiefer Sykes and Dwayne Washington both started alongside Holiday, Sabonis, and Turner. Well, let's do the Turner and Sabonis thing first. Miles Turner's going to play 33 minutes. Domantas Sabonis is going to play 38 minutes. Goga has COVID or whatever, so he's out. So we're just going to give these guys all of the minutes. So that's 38 for Sabonis. Justin Holiday is a real player, so that he's going to get 36. Done. Kiefer Sykes, Dwayne Washington is if that's what we're expecting. I see no reason not to. That those guys just played a ton, so that makes I don't know why I would change it. So let's say that Kiefer Sykes. I mean, they did sign additional guys, but I mean, I'm going to say that Kiefer Sykes plays 32. I'm going to say that Dwayne Washington plays 32. O'Shea Brissett playing 16 minutes is really weird because he should play more than that. Did he get in foul trouble? O'Shea Brissett, no fouls, no fouls. No, just only played 18 minutes. Okay. That seems weird to me because that's one of the few spots where he's a functional part of their rotation at a position where they need it. So I'm going to say that O'Shea Brissett is playing 25 minutes. That just seems like it makes more sense. But we'll see if I have time left after that. Torrey Craig played 21 minutes. Could just as easily play more than that. I'm going to give him 22. Lance Stevenson, I forgot, is on Indy now. So let me move him from Atlanta to Indy. There we go. That's Indy again. We'll give Lance 12 minutes. Leaves me 10. Justin Anderson, Nate Hinton. Just going to give him the Nate Hinton for right now because I don't think it matters. The rest of it is what matters most. All these rates need to change. Holy hell. Okay. All right, so we're going to take off Brogdon and Levert. That should be the only two that really matter here. I guess Duarte does a little bit, but we're going to run out of sample. Yeah, we're going to leave Duarte out there. So for some strange reason, Sabonis just doesn't get a bump to any of his rates. Dwayne Washington needs his name corrected for DraftKings. Yep, Dwayne Washington Jr. Good. So who gets the big usage bumps? I mean, I guess it just really was Duarte. So let's go back to last year, even though that's a murky scenario. If we add last year in with Brogdon and Levert off, I guess we're going to have to take Warren off here too. we don't really have the biggest sample for rates. We don't have an actual high usage creator out there. Like, nothing really changes for Sabonis. They didn't really naturally have anybody that becomes that creator. Chris, no, I don't. It's Alex and Steve Buzzard, DeColts, and Sean's on, and probably more people on the back end that I'm not entirely sure of, but at least those guys are a primary three. If I'm missing somebody obvious, my bad. I don't actually think that I'm going to be changing any legitimate rates here other than not even like Kiefer Sykes or anything like that. I think these guys are where they need to be. I'm going to assume Sabonis is a guy that gets a little bit more usage, but I mean, we're going to be playing a lot of Kiefer Sykes, I reckon. Or at least a lot of Dwayne Washington, potentially. Miles Turner gets a bit of a bump, but it's just already there. I probably need to soften O'Shea Brissett a bit. So let's do something like that for Indy. Let's go to New York. It's not if they were playing someone other than the Knicks, it would be so interesting. So let's look at the Knicks now. I have no idea who's healthy for this team. So no Kemba, no Randall still, no Rose, no Noel. All right. So quickly season, I guess. Who started for the Knicks on Sunday? They got beat by 15. Miles McBride started and basically didn't play. Fournier, Gibson, Toppin, Barrett. All right. I'm going to cut this entire rotation because I don't think it's going to make a lot of sense. So we know that there's no Noel. So we're going... Do we also have no Mitch? Ooh, Mitchell Robinson question. Okay. Huh. Well, I think we have to just assume that Mitchell Robinson is playing. And that Taj Gibson is his backup. Does Miles McBride start again? Seems like no. Seems like no. Could. Gonna give him 16 minutes here. Fournier, Barrett. Yeah, I mean, Toppin's just in for big minutes. I think that's just happening. We're going 34 on Toppin. Kevin Knox as the backup. I think RJ Barrett feels pretty good at like 32 minutes. Evan Fournier feels about right at 28. Quickly feels about right at 28. And then we're going to get Alec Burks in. We got to get Quentin Grimes in as well. Grimes played 22 minutes last time out. Okay, and now we're running out of minutes. Let's say Alec Burks plays 26 and Quentin Grimes plays 14. Is that what we're doing here? Something in this neighborhood? Maybe go 26 to quickly. Obi Toppin's the dude. That much we know. Do we have any idea of what usage looks like for this Knicks team? With no Randall, Rose, I guess Kemba as well, right? Although he hasn't been out there all that much with that group, so. No Rose, no Randall. We do get a big bump of usage to Alec Burks. I do want to give that out. Fournier sees the bump too. Quickly, I'm sure, sees the bump. Yeah, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett in 104 minutes with no Randall, no Rose. 29% usage rate. That's curious to see. So I'm going to let this one ride. So that'll give us Indy and New York. Pacers look great, obviously. Sabonis, really good on FanDuel and DraftKings. Justin Holiday looks better on FanDuel than DraftKings. Miles Turner looks good on both sites. More expensive on FanDuel, but power forward eligibility helps. Dwayne Washington. Yeah, The Rock's not playing today. Dwayne Washington and Kiefer Sykes both look like good value plays. It seems to me like Dwayne Washington is a slightly better option. Hard to read into that too much. O'Shea Brissett, I think, is interesting. The Knicks. Clearly, we're jamming Obi Toppin in 5,300 FanDuel, 5,200 DraftKings. RJ Barrett for 5,600 looks good on DK. Looks a little bit worse on FanDuel. And then Quickly for 4,400 on DraftKings. I actually thought the Knicks were going to look a little bit better than they do. 2 games left. Phoenix and New Orleans. Pels on a back-to-back. Phoenix is going to be without Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, JaVale McGee, Frank Kaminsky. It's Bismack Biyombo season, I believe. But we shall see. Phoenix, again, 7-point favorites in New Orleans. Not too much we need to change here. So we take out JaVale. I'm actually going to take out everything, just make it easier. So, Chris Paul, call it 32 minutes. We're going to say Devin Booker, 34 minutes. We're going to say Mikal Bridges, 33 minutes. Cam Johnson, 32 minutes. I think Bismack Biyombo is legitimately going to play today. It appears that Jalen Smith is likely going to be the first man up at center. So I'm going to give Jalen Smith 28 minutes. I'm going to give Bismack Biyombo 16. And we're going to say that Bridges plays small at least a little bit. Now, we also need to give Cam Payne his traditional backup-ish run. Plays about 22 minutes a game. We need to give Landry Shamet his, 20-something minutes. And then we have 20 minutes left for Elfrid Payton or any other wing-type player that could possibly play. So we can move these guys up and down the positional spectrum a bit if we need to. Seems like it's Elfrid Payton first. So let's get Elfrid Payton 14 minutes. Yeah, so we have 7 minutes left over. I can pick anybody here. Ish Wainwright. Come on down. So that's Phoenix. I don't think we have any rates to change. Other than the fact that, no JaVale probably makes this team really interesting. We also just don't have that sample. It's actually probably more interesting to leave Ayton on. Because if you take Ayton off and you take JaVale off, we're just going to get a Frank Kaminsky sample. Actually, that is more than I was expecting. So we get Chris Paul. With those guys off, Chris Paul doesn't really get a ton of usage. Assist rate is fine. Devin Booker, 33% usage. I am going to take advantage of that. Doesn't see really any other changes. Bridges is fine. Jalen Smith, 21% usage. That's fine. Cam Payne, fine. Cam Johnson, fine. I don't have anything else I want to change for Phoenix. They are solid but unspectacular. New Orleans, going to be basically impossible to talk about because we have no idea what they're doing on a back-to-back. Doesn't appear that we're going to get any changes from the back-to-back, or at least we don't have to. So let's assume that everything that we got yesterday is what we can get today. Joe Val played 30. Devontae Graham played 30. Herb Jones played 30. Brandon Ingram played 30. Josh Hart played 36. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played 24. I don't really have any other changes. Jackson Hayes appears to be ahead of Hernan Gomez in the rotation. So we'll make that change. But yeah, that's New Orleans. We don't have to change anything from yesterday. So for Phoenix, it's an 8 o'clock start. So we've got 4 early games, all done by 8, and then late night hammer, Kings, Lakers, which is going to be a real problem for everybody. For Phoenix, I like Devin Booker on both sites. I think Chris Paul is solid. Jalen Smith is solid. It's really difficult to prioritize a specific thing from Phoenix. Let's just talk for a second about how hard today's slate is looking. On the Pels side, Joe Val 7,500 on FanDuel is probably the best option here. $6,600 Josh Hart on DraftKings. Herbert Jones and Nickeil Alexander-Walker both value plays. Now let us close it out. Sacramento Kings, Los Angeles Lakers. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do so now. 180 viewers, 88 likes. We're looking to get to 100 before we start running crunches. Q tag on Terrence Davis, no Rashawn Holmes. Last Kings game was when? Last Kings game was Sunday the 2nd. It was competitive. They started Halliburton, Jones, Fox, Bagley, and Barnes. I guess we assume that that's just what starts again, right? So we're going to go Fox starting, clearly, point guard, 34 minutes. We're going to see Halliburton starting, clearly, 35 minutes. Barnes, Bagley, Jones is the next group here. Terrence Davis was out for 3 games. We don't know if he is ready to come back in or what his role will be if he does so. So Harry Barnes in 34 minutes. We get Bagley in starting 25 minutes. And then Damian Jones played 29. Len and Thompson made up the rest of it. So Bagley didn't play at all at the 5, nor did Metu. So we're going to give Damian Jones... Did he play like a normal rotation of everything? Yeah, more or less. Doubled up in the second quarter. Why? Why not? I guess. All right. 26 for Damian Jones. 16 for Alex Len. 6 for Tristan Thompson. Metu was a straight backup. Nothing crazy. So we're going 18 minutes there to Metu. We need to fill out Davion Mitchell's minutes. That's just going to be like straight up backup run. And then we're going to fill... I mean, I guess it could be Terrence. No, we got to give Buddy Hield minutes. Ooh, and we're way light on Buddy Hield. So somebody's minutes got to go. And Tristan Thompson feels like the most likely guy there. But at the same time, if they're not going to play... Like, this was Holmes and Jones splitting 48. This is Holmes and Jones splitting 48. Holmes and Jones splitting 48. So no one else is playing center. So let's do 26, 16, and 2. No, I can't do that. They got to make up all of the center minutes. They don't play anybody else. So let's go 27, 18, and 3. I guess Metu is the guy that needs to lose the time. So there's 4 more minutes to heal. That gets him to 26, but yeah, I guess that's probably fine. Maybe we go to 22 on Davion Mitchell, 28 on Healed. I think we could work here. Yeah, if they put Bagley on LeBron today, he's going to feel pretty happy about it. I think this looks fine. And then I don't have rates to change for this team. I assume I can just leave Damian Jones' 16% usage rate to be where it is. Yeah, I can. So everything else looks pretty good here. So that's Sacramento. Let's close it out with the Lakers. I'm excited for crunches. I don't have a good feel for this slate. Nothing was really standing out as ultra obvious yet. Avery Bradley in, LeBron in, no Stanley Johnson for today, which is kind of a problem for them. This might actually be pretty easy. So they have not been playing Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan. It feels like they will today. This feels like Dwight Howard plays a little bit. So I'm going to... maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. It doesn't feel like a LeBron 30... Like, it doesn't feel like they go fully small. They don't have to against Sacramento. All right, 36 minutes. Let's gut this. Let's gut it all. 36 minutes for Russ. Check. We'll do 36 minutes for LeBron. We'll hash out what needs to be center in a second. Avery Bradley, dude plays like 28 to 30 minutes. I'm going to give him 30. Malik Monk, I'm going to say 32. THT's minutes are all over the place. So there's 24. Ariza is back and in and playing 20 minutes. Melo is just a center on this team. We're going to say that he's playing 26. So are we doing something like this? 26, 22, Ariza, or Melo and LeBron. Guys, you got to remember, this is the regular season. Sacramento's just not like magically playing small to match up with the Lakers. They're not going to do that. Damian Jones and Alex Len and Tristan Thompson are going to play like 40 minutes of the center minutes. This isn't game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, teams aren't really playing matchups like that, generally speaking. Austin Reeves is going to need... I guess he could just play those minutes. And then these 14 go to Ellington. All right, so I actually think that Lakers rotation makes a lot of sense. I don't have anything else that I want to change either. So I think we're done. Crazy slate. 100 likes, too. You guys are the best. This feels like a game where Dwight Howard's going to play like 14 minutes. They have it. Like, they can easily... Like, they don't have to play Trevor Ariza a ton of minutes, or Austin Reeves a ton of minutes, or Bradley's rotation can shrink a bit. I mean, Mike, Harrison Barnes has played a lot of minutes at the 5 this season, or at least he did earlier in the season. I don't think that that's particularly likely right now, but Barnes does play the 5. But yeah, like Sacramento's not like, oh, how are we gonna play this matchup? They're technically giving him 1% of minutes at the 5 this year. I bet they're not. I bet that's a technicality. I think they're calling Metu the 5 in that scenario. If we take off Holmes, Thompson, Len. Oh, we're going to get a lot of Damian Jones. Yeah, like they've done the Fox, Mitchell, Halliburton, Heald, Barnes lineup. They were playing a little bit earlier when Bagley was out of the rotation. I think I'm fine with everything we see here. So for Sacramento, 7K De'Aaron Fox on FanDuel is a problem. 4K Damian Jones on both sites is a bit of a problem. It's just a question of how many minutes he plays. Barnes looks good. Halliburton looks good. Bagley's interesting for 4,800. Like, Marvin Bagley shouldn't have center eligibility. He doesn't play center. That's insane. For the Lakers, LeBron's back to point guard, small forward. He looks fantastic today on both sites, but even better on DraftKings because of that eligibility. I actually like Russ quite a bit today, too. Malik Monk, 5,100 on DraftKings is probably the most interesting piece otherwise. Let's run some crunches. Let's try to figure this slate out because I don't think that anything that we looked at so far is obvious. So we'll start on the FanDuel side. I only have LeBron over 50 fantasy points. That's something to pay attention to. All right, optimal lineups on FanDuel. Russell Westbrook, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker, Dwayne Washington, LeBron, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Obi Toppin, Damian Jones. That's by 0.3 of a point. You can switch LeBron and Harrison Barnes for Scotty Barnes and Domantas Sabonis. I don't see anything there that surprises me. I think the power rankings are going to be relatively flat, except for that Indy value, too. Looking like De'Aaron Fox at the top of the heap today. Yeah, it looks like De'Aaron Fox is a very clear number 1. Not surprised by that at all. Dwayne Washington, or LeBron 2, Washington, Russell Westbrook, OG Anunoby, Keldon Johnson, Gary Trent, Harrison Barnes, Obi Toppin, Domantas Sabonis, Barrett, Damian Jones, Joval, Turner. It's everybody above 20%. We'll go to DraftKings now. I got Sabonis at 50 fantasy points on the dot. Optimal on DK. Dwayne Washington, Gary Trent, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Miles Turner, De'Aaron Fox, LeBron James, Damian Jones. That's by 0.5 of a point. We look at power rankings on DraftKings. We're bunched up at the top. Not a lot of separation here. Looking like LeBron is going to be the best play of the day. Something close to that. Maybe Dwayne. Now it's looking like Dwayne Washington. Oh, they're back and forth. LeBron, Dwayne Washington, Fox, Toppin, Monk, Harry Barnes, RJ Barrett, Damian Jones, Josh Hart. That's everybody above 20%. And finally, because today is the day where you get a Yahoo Contenders, we have, at least I think you get a Yahoo Contenders. I should look at that. One stop. I thought it was supposed to be just for December, but I'm guessing that's not the case. Would be exciting though. Yeah, no, not the case. All right. Yahoo Contenders. Sorry, Yahoo Optimal. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Russell Westbrook, Scotty Barnes, Obi Toppin, DeMontis Sabonis, Miles Turner, and Damian Jones. Probably not a lineup I would run, but it's not the worst. But you kind of got to get to that $24 Miles Turner. Sabonis is overpriced, but it's fine. Power rankings on Yahoo before we get out of here. I'm already not excited for tomorrow's show just because of how big the slate is. I think it's 11 games. Let's double check that. And then I think Thursday is small again. Yeah, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, 11 tomorrow, 4 on Thursday, 9 on Friday. So we close it out pretty good Thursday, Friday. Guys, it was a good show. It was fun. We broke it down. Taking us about an hour. That's fine. Power rankings on Yahoo. DeMontis Sabonis, number 1. Miles Turner, Russell Westbrook, Obi Toppin, LeBron James, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Evan Mobley, Gary Trent, Ja Morant. That is everybody 20% or higher. We done, everybody. We done. No deeper dive or live before lock or anything for me today, so it's just going to be the strategy show with Adam. Make sure you're watching it. We're going to have a lot of time. We got a full hour to dig into 5 games, so make sure you're tuning into that. Contenders videos will be out shortly, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. But that's it. So I don't have anything else. Good luck tonight, everybody. Win some money. It's going to be exciting. I'm pumped for this slate. Keep your eyes peeled to my Twitter at Josh Engelman. I'll have my sim updates as we get closer to lock. But good luck. Adios. This is the process.